on the telephone.
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, thanks for the pizza, buddy.
Sure, no
by the
problem.
way.
Buddies. It's the Got Pizza Give Dough campaign through May 31st, which is really cool because this is one way you can buy pizza, eat, and help somebody all at the same time. And you really don't have to get much up out of your chair to do it.
Well, I got the
Detroit
pizza. I didn't give the dough yet, but I did eat the pizza.
Yeah.
And I'm waiting for my omelet. I'm hoping I can still eat my omelet.
Oh,
I think I'll be able
to.
to.
Shove it down there if you got
some
6 punchkis in there.
Well, some of the eating feats that have been done on this show,
True.
pizza and
True
omelet are no big deal.
Anyway, real quick, with that going on in Chesterfield Township now, also Detroit Pistons rookie Methane Cleaves going to be in court later on this month on a pair of traffic tickets. Police in Genesee County's Grand Blanc Township say Cleaves was driving on a suspended license, pulled over on I-75 after officers say they spotted him doing 85 yesterday. He was released at the scene to another driver who picked him up. He's back in
come
court.
on, Methane deserves
March
a free
26th.
pass for a while. His brother just died. Give him a break.
Yeah, well...
You think the cop would even say that? Doesn't everyone know?
You would think that. But, he's, somebody else...
He has the
85 miles an hour.
He has the resources.
But he's a fast-moving guy.
He is.
These fast-moving people should be given extra.
Got to be moving.
Anyway, Farmer Jack and Kroger have a grocery list of contract demands. They could go on strike, though, any day now. Stores and their employees are still negotiating. The stores say they're really close to an agreement, and the employees say they want to make sure that they've got everything, all the ducks in a line, primarily because they've got some health issues that they want to breach with the companies. We could have some canceled flights aboard Northwest Airlines, too, unless George W. Bush charges to the rescue. It's possible, after the mechanics voted over the weekend, to go on strike March 12th unless somebody makes them stay on the job, that we could have some airlines walking out just in the spring travel season. Ethan Hastert, that's the Speaker of the House, Dennis Hastert's kid, popped on drunk driving charges in Washington, D.C. over the weekend. His father says it's regrettable. He still loves his son, though, and his son has his full support. Surprise, Napster kept downloading over the weekend 2 million some selections to thousands of people after the service promised that it would install software to screen out copyrighted materials, and then didn't. And David Boies is their lawyer. He's the same guy, of course, who represented Al Gore in the election gate thing.
I wonder if they can really ever shut this Pandora's box. Because they'll just move to another site, to another site, to another site.
Not sure, but Metallica sure checks in big time on not only Napster, but how they hate each other. Playboy magazine in the April issue.
Surprise.
Matter of fact, they are dissing Lars for not only being a bad drummer, but stinking as well.
Yeah.
They said when he first auditioned for him, they just thought, what the heck was that mannerism, attitude, accent, and smell, laughing that apparently they have a different attitude about bathing in Denmark. And Lars just gave him the same grief, saying, hey, I'm not like with the American guys who have to take a shower 4 times a day.
Well, I don't mind being called a wussy if it means not smelling. Lars. Lars!
True. They said he smelled like Denmark, whatever that was. So, I think they want to talk about that, so I'm going to go.
Okay.
Shooting
do
games?
it.
All
right. Sports at 8:28, brought to you by Adam, the American Divorce Association for Men. For more info, call 248-356-ADAM. And the Fighting Illini beat Minnesota 67-59, so they tie Michigan State for the Big Ten title, but still 4 in a row for Michigan State. Not bad. Jason Richardson.
It's tournament time, and for the past, after we lost to Illinois, he's even taking every game like one and done for championship, so it's definitely one and done time now.
Michigan State will play the winner of the Michigan-Penn State game. So Thursday at 4:30. So if the Wolverines can somehow carve a victory out of this Big Ten tournament, they'll play Michigan State, which would probably be the best thing for Michigan State since it seems that they beat Michigan by at least 20 every time they get together. Here's Andre Hudson. What's he talking about the tournament?
Sure.
Okay.
It's going to be big, and I think a lot of these young guys are really grown and are playing better, and I'm looking forward to the second part of the season. I think we have a good shot at winning some more championships.
I don't think they're getting nearly enough credit. 4 consecutive Big Ten titles, won or shared. That's an incredible achievement. Only 3 teams?
Yeah.
Well, why do I keep looking at you like you're the ultimate authority, Walters? You're not the Wizard of Oz.
You always do that. I don't know why. I'm going to get behind the curtain.
Duke beat UNC 94-81. UDM is in the MCC Finals Tuesday night. Detroit Mercy 91-81 over Cleveland State. They'll play on ESPN Tuesday night at 7:05. Another chance to go to the dance for Detroit Mercy. Pistons and the Heat tonight at the Palace. Last night they beat Orlando 93-84. It was Jerry Stackhouse at 26. Harbaugh, possibly a Lion. Talked with them over the weekend, and it sounds like both sides are pretty optimistic about it. John Randall and Matt Hasselbeck both signing with Seattle. The Leafs, or rather Ryan Leaf, signs with the Bucks. XFL ratings, oh boy, down again. Of course, next week they're going into the cheerleaders' locker room, so maybe that will puff things up. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of nudity on NBC.
Yeah, doing guys.
No doubt in my mind. They also have been chastised by the American Football Coaches Association, who say that they would oppose the XFL's plan to sign players out of high school. That's what the XFL wants to do. They've got to do something. Now, the XFL says they're only interested in players who have basically failed to matriculate towards college. In other words, people whose grades are so bad that a college career is absolutely hopeless. Tigers signed a couple of guys, Matt Anderson and Jeff Weaver. Also, Robert Fick, Mitch Molesky, all one-year deals. And then a few hockey notes. Colorado shutting out Phoenix 5-0 last night. Patrick Waugh's fourth shutout of the season. Wings are concerned. Chris Osgood pulled the last two times out, including the unbeaten streak-ending game Saturday night. They lost to the Kings 6-3 as Ozzy slumping a little bit. But Chris Chelios puffed up by his encounters with Luke Robitaille, two of them in their game on Saturday night. Chelios making fun of him, saying, yeah, he's a warrior, can't even beat up a 40-year-old. And Jeff Gordon, NASCAR's biggest star with Dale Earnhardt gone, reminding everyone maybe he's the top guy now, winning at Las Vegas, outrunning Ned Jarrett. Here's Jeff Gordon.
We're back! Woo! Man, that was awesome. What a day. I don't know. We just never gave up. I guess the car was real tight at the beginning. I think the track maybe came to us because these guys loosened the car up. Just great communication. We never got frustrated. Man, I'm so excited about getting this new DuPont Flame Pepsi car into Victor Lane. It's awesome.
You gotta love the plug-hole in NASCAR. Look at all the sponsors on Gordon's jacket and his hat. It's like if they're 2 inches unused, they'll slide somebody in there. All right, 8:32 WRA. If you want to get Dennis Miller ready. What's up with these ice fishermen? Are we back on? Are any of the local stations on that now?
Yeah.
Check out 4. No, they're not in it. 17 ice fishermen are currently stranded in Anchor Bay. Hey, let's see, how warm was it this weekend? It was
40s, 50s?
Yeah, it was pretty warm. I was going to say it's 23 this morning, but what do you do with these idiots? I mean, it seems to me 99% of the time this happens, there's a sign up or there are firemen out there warning people or Coast Guard or whatever. In fact, the last time they had a rescue this year, I saw 3 firemen walking, and they were chained to each other, walking all around the ice, begging people to come off. And there were certain people who would not. And I know they tried to get a law passed that you'd have to pay for the rescue, and it got so watered down that in the end, the second time you get rescued, you pay a fine. It's not even a big fine. I could not, for the life of me, understand why the lawmakers were such pussies about it. Is there a big ice fishing lobby that I'm not aware of? Well, we'll keep tabs on that. Oh, there they are. Okay, well, let's see.
Now walked over to the shoreline, which is where the only spot that you can see where the ice is still connected to the shoreline. You can see lots of firefighters down there and some of the Coast Guard workers that were driving it, and then a couple of fishermen. Everybody has been rescued. They have been removed from the ice.
Can we see them, please?
As of right now, we're told there were 17 of them to begin with. The 2 helicopters from the Coast Guard that were circling out here with us have since departed the area as well. So
can we have a tight shot of each of the 17 people individually, just so I can yell "Duh!" at the screen at all of them?
All facial shots. I don't understand. Every year it's the same thing, too, man.
Will you back up, Mark, and see if they show us these 17 people? I want to get a good look at them. I want to be careful to stay off the highways when they're on the highways. Stay out of the lines at the bank when I see them at the bank.
But you know what? It's like when you attack them for this, they really get in your face. They get really mad at you.
I could care less.
They're like, hey, listen, man, there's a way that you read the ice. We know what we're doing.
Well, you misread it.
We've been doing it for years,
Well, if you're so smart, then why are you out there on ice that's floating away, pal?
Well, that's right. That's exactly...
Duh!
That's right.
No, they didn't show them.
They would never end up adrift on ice.
Everything is fine.
Yeah, boy.
Now you watch about 6 of them will be out there tomorrow. When the temperature is going to be...
Count on it.
Tomorrow it's going to be a high of around 30, so there's not going to be a lot more ice
Like last
tomorrow.
week, I mean, we hit 50, near 50 like last week, and then coming through the 40s and all that. I mean, you know, snow is melting like crazy everywhere. Everybody can see it.
Today's
You know
high,
what I mean? How much snow do you see in the grass anymore?
You're just a dope.
Today's high 28. It's going to drop to 20 tonight. They're saying accumulation of 1 or 2 inches, and then tomorrow, chance of light snow with a high around 30. So they'll be out there tomorrow. They'll be
Please.
probably at Anchor
Absolutely.
Bay.
And the other thing is that if they're not rescued, or if they drown, they'll sue, or the families will. Wouldn't you think?
I suppose it's possible.
I would think in today's era.
I really think there ought to be some just monstrous fine. If you get rescued, you should have to hand them your visa before they pick you up. So you pay for the frickin' thing.
It seems like it.
And they got 17 of them now, so they could split it 17 ways.
And honestly,
Of course, you wonder if they'd have a pot to piss in. They're stupid enough to go out on the ice.
But the cost involved to rescue them, not to mention, as the rescuers point out, they have to risk their own lives to get these people.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I mean, it's just as dangerous for them to go get them, you know?
Drew Mike at WRF.com if you want to email in this morning. We have some great email, too, which we'll get to, but we have to play the Dennis Miller rant again.
Oh, my God, please, I beg you.
The Dennis Miller Show on HBO, and Dennis going off on the Clinton family.
You know, the Clintons left Washington about as quietly as Kid Rock leaves a Holiday Inn. Now, I don't want to get off on a rant here, but like an infestation of cockroaches, a drunken party guest, or a super virulent strain of antibiotic-resistant clap, the Clintons are proving almost impossible to get rid of. Hey, is there any way for an entire nation to follow a restraining order? You know, since we first met them, Bill and Hillary's political relationship has been defined by a series of scandals, providing their marriage a much-needed distraction from ever having to actually stop and figure out how to extricate themselves from their biggest predicament, each other. Let's face it, if the Clintons' marriage were any more about convenience, they'd have to install a Slurpee machine in a Slim Jim rack. You know, we've all been watching in astonishment these last few weeks as the Clintons merrily parade their greed and corruption past us like a garish Mardi Gras float powered by the drivetrain of Bill Clinton's gargantuan sense of entitlement. Hillary steers while Bill sits on top, tossing pardons out to the crowd like a drunken Bacchus with a perpetual hard-on for a scepter. And it turns out that the low priest who shepherded many of the pardon petitioners to the quid pro quo altar is none other than Hillary's currently 8.5-month pregnant brother, Uratum. Hey, who could blame Jabba the Hick for acting as a supersized go-between? How would you like it if your sister was in the White House for 8 years and you couldn't even cash in on it because of stupid laws and shit? And the Uratum-sponsored pardons were small and quickly eaten potatoes compared to the Mark Rich debacle. President Clinton has repeatedly insisted his pardon of Mark Rich was the right thing to do, which should probably tip you off to just how undoubtedly wrong it was. You almost have to admire the sheer audacity of granting pardons to 2 tax-scamming billionaire fugitives named Rich and Green. If the symbolism were any more obvious, Andrew Lloyd Webber would be writing music for it. And speaking of vacuous songwriters, the March Rich pardon was facilitated by his former wife, Denise Rich. Now, why would a former wife go to the wall for her ex-husband? Well, in this case, I can think of a couple of billion reasons. You know, she couldn't be any more in her former husband's hip pocket if she were a piece of lint. Think about it. Denise Rich is the perfect unwitting foil to do the bidding of low-rent Machiavellis like her ex and Bill Clinton. Every time I see that footage of her standing there on stage next to Clinton in her strapless, fur-trimmed, hey, baby, give it up, you're in your mid-50s Escada frock, smiling that lobotomized, open-mouthed smile, all the while clapping her mitts together like she's a trained SEAL cleaning erasers. Just so thrilled to be part of the action that all the naysayers once told her was way out of her league. Well, all I can think is, wow, she's not even aware of what an incredible dupe she's being played for. You know, there's nothing sadder than a star who thinks she's a patriot. And I like her. You know, To be fair, it's not like other outgoing presidents and first ladies haven't been involved in sketchy pardons, taking gifts they weren't supposed to, or profited from their positions. It's just that no one has ever done it in such bulk, in so short a time, eliminating the mid-level operative and passing the scandal right onto you, the consumer. Let's face it, the Clintons are the Costco of sleaze. And all of the lying, cheating, and stealing can't be good for either of the Clintons' karma. At this point, Hillary's coming back as a dung beetle with an overdeveloped sense of smell. And Bill will come back as, probably Bill. Let's face it, this guy's smarter than God. But you must never count Bill Clinton out. He's completely alone right now, but this is when he's at his absolute best, when the whole world has turned their back on him, when the baying hounds are confusing the scent of his blood with somebody else's blood who's about to take the fall for him. This is the precise moment he has you exactly where he wants you. Perhaps Bill Clinton didn't so much betray his allies as seduce them into betraying themselves. From the women's rights groups who took Clinton's side against all the women he victimized, to all the liberal compadres he discarded when it was politically expedient to do so, Clinton's proffered deal has always been the same. I will help you achieve your goals if you simply abandon the ideals that made them worthwhile in the first place. I guess what I'm saying, Bill, is we're on to you. And it's over. You understand? We've awakened from our long nightmare of codependence and addiction, and we found someone new. Maybe he's not as smart or as exciting as you, but he treats us nice and makes us feel pretty. We don't need you anymore, Bill, okay? So stop calling, stop driving past our house at night, and stop looking at us like that. Now get off the porch and get out of here before we change our minds. Of course, that's just my opinion. I could be wrong.
Hey, it's Lars from Metallica. You're hanging out with Drew and Mike right here on The Riff.
Evening, gentlemen. Can
Express card. And wouldn't let her share in the tens of millions of dollars pouring into their newest house in Clinton Township. She says he has exclusive control over his assets and income. And she wants joint physical custody of their 5-year-old daughter, Haley. Now, shouldn't he have let this thing go through before? Because every minute that ticks by, I mean, it's a psycho relationship, obviously, right?
Oh, yeah.
And every minute that goes by, the counter just goes up. More thousands to give to her.
Absolutely.
There was a couple more thousand just since we started talking about it.
Let me ask you this. When they bought this, I'm trying to remember this, when they bought the new house in Clinton Township, didn't they?
Well, now that's hers.
Yeah, because
he could have left her in the other house.
Mm-hmm.
Was it on Ryan Road or?
Oh, wait a minute, Hayes, yeah, in Sterling Heights.
So now she gets $1 million house instead of a $400,000 house.
And let me ask you,
come on, E.
When they bought that house, didn't they jointly buy that house, which amazed everyone?
They're both in it. It doesn't matter. They're married and they're both in the house.
Yeah.
It's hers, baby.
Yeah. I just thought that maybe they both signed for the thing, but I don't know.
It wouldn't matter.
No, but
whatever he's made.
But I just thought it would be interesting that they would do that.
Well, they were. I think they really thought they were getting back together.
Oh, clearly.
Sit down, bitch, and move again. I'll beat the out of you. Don't make me wake this baby. She don't need to.
I tell you, if I ever get this mad at somebody, I think I won't want to be with them anymore.
I cannot imagine saving the relationship, nor can I imagine thinking that we've got it under control at all.
He denies the allegations that he ever threatened to cut her off from the fortune. I never cut her off from the fortune. Or canceled her credit card, according to his lawyer. After taking home 3 Grammy Awards last week, his multi-platinum record enjoyed a 23% boost in sales. From 62 to 32, that album's been out forever, too. I mean, so that's more money for Kim.
Yeah. And then, Mike, you're right. The new record's coming out pretty soon. Yeah.
His lawyer stresses that Eminem's decision to file has no connection to his post-Grammy boost in album sales. And they won't speculate on how much he's worth. His divorce suit states only, or her part says only that she wants the court to make an equitable division of all the couple's assets.
Oh, boy. That's pretty great.
Ouch.
As far as what's equitable.
That means a lot.
Yeah.
It's a real lot.
And he doesn't strike me as the type of person that is out there spending a ton of that money like a nut job. I might be wrong. I have no idea, but it just doesn't seem like it.
Not that there's anything wrong with living on Hayes Road, but you wouldn't expect a guy of his means to live on Hayes Road.
Right.
So, you're probably right. I don't know.
Even in Clinton Township in that area, you know?
These guys tend to take on entourages as time goes on. I don't know.
Yeah.
If he's got Elton in his entourage, or if he and Elton are together, he's got an expensive lifestyle.
Yeah. Didn't his bodyguard say he was spending a ton of money every week?
Guy that wrote the book?
Yeah. I thought he said he was spending thousands a week on...
Well, to the bodyguard, it might be a lot.
Yeah.
But, compared to Elton.
Yeah.
He and Elton, they're going to have to put out a lot of music.
Yeah.
To keep Elton happy.
How could Elton get so screwed up financially? I mean,
it's called clothes and flowers. he literally...
Thank God Versace died. He'd be even more broke.
He spends $20,000 a month on flowers. $20,000 a month on flowers. That was what they're trying to reorganize his finances. And they're like, Elton, couldn't you buy $5,000 a month in flowers?
Can't somebody tell him that the thing about flowers is no matter how much you spend in like a few days, they're dead no matter what you do?
No.
How about silk flowers, Elton? One time.
No.
No way.
He wants to smell.
Okay, all right.
The other big story over the weekend is these Jordan Retro shoes came out. And they've never been in gray before. And people are ready to shoot each other over these shoes.
Just because they now come in gray?
Because they come in gray.
Oh,
they arrested someone in Highland Park. In Toledo, they had to evacuate the mall because there's so many people were lined up and it was getting a little rowdy, I guess.
Oh, my God. Over these shoes.
And Foot Locker and Finish Line shoe stores were closed for several hours. In Houston, shoppers kicked and punched each other to get better spots in line, and police had to come and arrest some people.
And as you know, when you go to buy shoes like this, what's the chance they're even going to have your size, even if there isn't a line? You know what I mean? How many times you go in and it's like, oh, no, we're out.
Well, that's why you have to beat someone up who has your size.
Yeah.
Many stores across Metro Detroit opened early on Saturday, some at 6 a.m. Just for some great tennis shoes. At Champs at Northland Center in Southfield, I bet that was there were a lot of people there. Shoppers are being let in 4 at a time, and the rest forced to wait outside in the cold. The store opened at about 6:30 a.m. All 200 pairs were going by 8 a.m. The store had to close at 9 a.m. to clean up. What kind of a mess can you make selling 200 pairs of shoes?
I can't. I don't know. Like if they bring them, they don't quite fit. Then the shoe box, the top is off, the paper is out of there, the paper's out of inside the shoe. I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah, I think I'd head to Somerset for these shoes. That's where I'd go.
Definitely.
I remember going to Northland to buy Rolling Stones tickets. That was a brilliant move. I mean, I'm still getting kudos for that. For what?
Dylan tickets.
Dylan? Oh, yeah. How many Dylan fans hang out at Northland Mall?
Years ago, I remember when you, and you'd never, I'm amazed you, is this the first time you revealed that?
Yeah, because the cat's out of the bag.
Okay.
Because I've been over there a few times since,
Okay.
and a lot of people have caught
Picked up on it.
Yeah.
I remember when you first had that Logic.
Somebody probably wrote about it on Y Forum.
Probably. Many years ago, you had the Logic. I mean, honestly, brilliant. Just brilliant. Just brilliant.
I didn't even live here that long either.
No,
I was like, where would be a good place to buy Rolling Stones tickets?
It was incredible, and everybody else was hopelessly in line. You just boom, done.
Well, it was just a thought. I thought, maybe Northland Mall. Doesn't seem like a lot of people. And you know what happened? There were. I got there early, and before long, there were a lot of people in line behind me.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't believe this many brothers like the Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
It turns out like Prince tickets or something were on sale at the same time. People were asking me how my tickets were too, and I'm showing them, and they go, "Oh, Rolling Stones? What's that, man?" I got my tickets.
That's right.
Yeah. So anyway, they had to clean up Champs and keep the crowds away. They reopened later.
Oh, my God.
Highland Park Foot Locker was closed much of Saturday. Melee broke out among would-be shoe buyers around the opening time. Foot Locker at Briarwood Mall in Ann Arbor said the store stopped selling the shoes after police had to be called to manage 70 shoppers looking for the gray retro 11s, I take it?
Retro 11s.
I don't know my Roman numerals very well.
Well, and think of the people packing heat and every other thing, weapons and stuff. I'm surprised people weren't killed, honestly.
Well,
really.
I don't think the shoes are gone yet. Cross your fingers.
So, just can't make enough money, can he?
Some email this morning. A news advisory, too. Pass that along in a second. Already emailing the ice fishermen. Jay, don't charge them. Let them float out to the ocean. I'm an ice fisherman. It's not hard to tell that the ice is not as safe as it was a month ago. Let the ice vote them out of our somewhat normal society.
Let the ice vote them. Oh,
hey, guys, could these ice fishermen be stranded in a more appropriate location? Anchor Bay. They are definitely anchors.
Oh, that's
Darwin's theory at its finest. Later, Brad.
Oh,
well,
Brad,
it's simple to me. It seems to me that if you value your life, or if you have kids, or a wife, or a husband, or important people in your life, that if you're going to go out on the ice to fish, you would err on the side of the ice being too thick. Not too thin.
I would stop
if there were any doubt at all.
At fear for my own life, not
if
wanting to go down
warm for a few days.
Yeah.
Maybe it'd wait till it got really cold.
I don't know why they want to rush into eternity down the tunnel.
Look at that fish.
Beyond me.
Mike, he's taking exception. The conditions on Lake St. Clair are very different from the inland lakes. We were ice diving in Lake Oakland Sunday and had at least 14 inches of solid ice. Well, good for you.
See, there you go.
We're not talking about you.
We're not talking about that lake. And every lake.
I don't care where people are. If the ice is too thin and you fall through or you float away, then you were on a lake that the ice wasn't thick enough on.
Right. And the size of Lake St. Clair is far larger than some of the lakes like Union Lake or Pontiac Lake, etc.
Here's a good email. This might spur some telephone activity. 313-298-WRIF if you want to respond. Drew and Mike, recently I started dating a guy and started working in Troy after moving to the Warren area.
Troy?
My coworkers tell me that the guy's from the West Side, and the relationship may not work because of the mini cultures on different sides of Detroit. They tell me East Side guys have mullets and work in factories and go to Monster Truck Jam. West Side guys are more cultured. I can actually relate to both, so I don't see this as a problem. But like I said, I just moved here. Is this really a true phenomenon? Shannon.
Oh, she's plunging into that East versus West Side deal, huh?
I didn't get it either. When I first moved here, I didn't... I used to hear a lot about, West, East. I like living in the middle myself. I consider, like, Royal Oak to be central.
Oh, it is?
That's where I want to be. I don't live there now, but that's where... somewhere in the middle like that, because the convenience. There's nothing about East or West that makes me feel like I have to be on either side.
Right.
I like being close to Tigers, Pistons, Pine Knob, you know.
Right.
And not too far from Ann Arbor, too.
It's true.
For Michigan football, stuff like that, or
Royal Oak
drive home to Chicago.
Yep, Royal Oak is beautifully centrally located. It really is. There's no argument there. Rochester Hill's the same way. Though after living in Rochester Hill, the problem with Rochester, and that's where many years grew up there. Adams High School, all this through high school and afterwards. Problem with that is it takes so long to connect to 75. You're stuck on surface streets, and that trek from Rochester down to 75 on Crooks is forever, and you're right. The place is jammed.
Well, having lived here now for a while,
jammed.
I would say that in terms of, I don't really, I don't notice that much difference that I would say, I have to live on the east side, or I have to get away from the east side, or I have to live on the west side. But east side definitely seems more like a beer and a shot kind of,
there's no question.
There's no doubt about it. But I don't think it's bad.
No, it's not at all. I lived on the east side for, years, Clinton Township, and then now on the west side. I'll tell you one thing, very interesting, and it's true.
I don't think I couldn't live too far west. I just feel like I was on another planet.
I know it, and already I kind of do. I finally have the pizza places all figured out. But I tell you, it's hard to find the quality of car washes that exist on the east side. There's no Smokers Express on the west side. You know what I mean?
Maybe some people will help you.
Yeah, you it's hard to find. It's definitely different.
Hey, Jason.
East Side was a ball,
Hey, what's going
man.
on?
What
Hey,
you doing,
man.
bud?
No, I live in Royal Oak too, and I'll tell you what, man. I got a buddy who refuses to go to the East Side.
Refuses.
Won't go over there. Won't hang out there.
Why won't he go?
I have no idea. He says it's not. I don't know. He doesn't like it.
Is it trash? Is it the chicks or the guys or both?
I'd have to say it's probably the chick for him. I'll tell you what.
What the big hair phenomenon? I mean, that's a joke. I'm not
Maybe
saying.
he thinks he's too cool.
So he's trying to say it's a trashy kind of a locale. Is that it?
I guess I like the East Side bars, man.
East Side's a ball.
No, East Side's a little more genuine.
Oh, it's wild.
I would
yeah,
say.
man.
313-298-WRIF. I see people already checking in.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be a huge topic.
Someone is, if anyone's still listening from this morning, for some reason I went off into the song, do your boobs hang low? Do they waddle to and fro? And I couldn't remember the last line. Can you tie them in a knot? Can you tie them in a bow? Can you throw them over your shoulder like a continental soldier? That's the line I couldn't get. Do your boobs hang low?
Well, I never heard of that ever. You took off on that. I was like, where's this coming from?
Let's see.
Never heard you sing that before.
Julie.
Yeah.
Was from, 7th grade. What's up, Julie?
Hey, not much. How are you?
Good. What do you want to say about East Side, West Side?
Oh, I work on the west side and I live on the east side, and I know I hear a lot about people constantly comparing the two, and I think that east side is, just as cool as the west side, but I know a lot of people have the opinion that east siders are white trash.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
yeah,
West.
no,
there's a lot of West Side attitude about East Side, definitely.
When I was,
a little snobby.
Oh, yeah. When I was living on the east side, I was talking to this one guy on the phone. He's like, where do you live? And I told him Clinton Township. He was like, what are you doing living over there, man? Get some class. And I was like, what? Blew my mind.
It's crazy because I live in Clinton Township, and I worked in Birmingham for 2.5 years, and now I work in Southfield. And the only thing, the big difference is the Jewish population on the west side. I didn't know in Clinton Township, I didn't grow up with any Jewish people, which I am not, nothing against.
You're just noticing demographics.
So, I relate much more with the east side. I think that.
Well, the east side would seem pretty, Aryan. Is that the word I'm looking for?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
maybe not Aryan. No. It's very
depending on where you are, but
very white.
Yeah.
Trucks.
Yeah. I like.
It's pretty straight ahead. Yeah. Middle America.
Birmingham would be centrally located as well.
Well, I definitely wouldn't call Birmingham East Side.
No. That would be centrally located. Like
definitely.
Royal Oak.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The east side, you can go anywhere, and you really don't have to care what you look like as much. And the west side, it seems like when I go out with my girlfriends, people are just decked out. East side, you can walk into a bar, and nobody cares what you look like.
Well, that's what some of the west side people would,
object to.
Yeah, object to that. Or they would say the idea of what is dressed up on the east side is not. Anyway, Doug. Hey, Doug.
How you guys doing?
Hey,
we have a lot of listeners on the east side. I'm not willing to piss off the east side. And I don't even care. I don't get dressed up.
I live there, and I feel the same way. I don't care. I grew up in the middle of nowhere, and I've always realized, or I have realized since living on the east side for 6 years now, that all the guys walk around shirtless. They all smoke, and everybody parks their cars on the street.
And you can find beer all over the place.
I've been dating my wife. Well, I've been with my wife 10 years, and the guy who lives next door to my in-laws, I've seen him in a shirt 3 times. And that's after 11 years.
Hey, you know what? I just thought of a great idea. If you were a producer for the TV show Cops, what town around here would you pick? To
have to be either Roseville or Warren. And I live in Roseville.
Or you can go way downriver.
Yeah, downriver you can get cops would have some fun downriver too.
Oh, yeah.
So have a good day, guys.
Okay.
There's a distinct difference. Well, I was born and raised in Royal Oak. Then from Royal Oak, we ended up in Rochester. Then went through high school there and all. And then eventually, I lived in Dearborn with Trish for a while because she was working at United Airlines. Then we ended up on the east side, Clinton Township, for many, many years. Now we're on the west side. But the first thing I noticed when on the west side, you carton of Merit. No way. There's no smoker places. Then I go in there, hey, I want a case of Labatt Ice. Labatt Ice? No, we don't have that. It was just, we're on the east side. I was like, oh, yeah, man, here's 7 cases. What do you want?
Hey, Craig.
Hey.
Go ahead.
My fiance lived on the west side. I lived on the east side. She moved over onto my side of town.
Ooh.
Yeah. Well, she said the same thing. She's like, I can't understand how people can live over here. The fact of the matter is, we just know how to have more fun out there.
Oh, hey, I got to tell you, it's a fact.
I like the east side.
I had a great time.
I couldn't drive to that end of the planet. That's my problem.
Oh, yeah, it's a long ways. It is. Absolutely. That's why I moved.
But there's a lot of East Siders that would never live on the West Side, and a lot of West Siders that would never. Actually, I know a lot of West Siders who are like, I could never live on the East Side. In fact, don't even know their way around the East Side. If you wanted directions to Gratiot and something, go, I don't know how to get there.
See, I can't get that heavy about East or West. You know, I mean, I'm just happy I'm alive to live either way. But there's a distinct difference.
Morning. How are you?
What an uplifting message. Go ahead.
Thank you. I thought I would, reestablish focus.
I just want to tell you guys that I live on the West Side, and when I want to go out to the bar to get an H&D, you definitely got to go to the East Side.
Oh, for an H&D?
Absolutely.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with being a little more humpable. East Side, they like to have fun.
That's right, and they're drinking, and I mean the East Side is way more laid.
I bet the East Side, those people, everybody on the East Side lives longer, probably.
Yeah, in spite of themselves.
I racked up some major party miles on the East Side.
Eric, you want to pick up your one-night stands on the East Side? Do you want to marry an East Sider or a West Sider?
Oh, definitely a West Sider.
And sentence yourself to a life of that.
I'm sorry. I just,
You want something classy and sexy?
Hey, an East Side girl might be fun.
Guaranteed.
And for more than one night.
Guaranteed.
Okay, let's try. Oh man, look at the phone.
Oh yeah,
we got everybody calling now.
Oh yeah.
Who we got here? Tony on 4.
Yeah.
Is this Tony?
Hey, what's going on,
How you
guys?
doing? Tony must be from the East Side.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. What's up, Tony?
Nothing much. Just another day at the 7th Circle of Hell.
All right.
East Side's pretty cool. We got the Emerald Theater over there, and there's no hands down there. As far as H&D goes, it's pretty damn easy over there. I tell you what, you walk in the Emerald Theater, I mean, if you got any class or any, how do you say, panache.
Panache.
You can walk out of there pretty good.
But the Emerald Theater, I guess it's a big addition to the East Side, definitely. But I don't know if any of the East Siders will ever make it west of, say, 75, now that the Emerald Theater's there.
But Mike's saying off the air that he's an East Sider. I don't know why.
I heard him.
I don't know why.
I heard him grumbling.
I know, me too. I don't know why I didn't come to the microphone. Whatever.
What's his name, Mark? Brian, okay. Hey, Brian, go ahead.
Hey, this is Brian.
Go ahead.
I'd like to propose an analogy.
Okay.
The Metro Detroit is like a mullet. All party on one side and serious on the other.
Oh, okay, so the West Side is the business end of the mullet, and the East Side's the party side.
Exactly.
Okay.
Wow.
Partying back. Very nice. That was heavy, man.
Very interesting.
Thanks.
Wow.
There are a lot of mullets around. It's funny. We joke about mullets all the time. There's still a lot of mullets.
Oh, yeah.
And you just Huge. Jessica, go ahead.
I just wanted to say that I live in Utica.
Yeah.
And,
would you be a pretty easy hump and dump or what?
No.
Okay, I was just kidding.
I wouldn't consider myself. But I just want to say that Utica has a different type of atmosphere. It's all, you have low income mixed in with middle income, and then on the other side you have total high income on some parts.
You're East Side. Utica's East Side, though. Don't try and not be East Side. There's nothing wrong with it.
There are little pockets where there's a ton of money.
Yeah.
Namely...
sure, all over the East Side. Well, the Grosse Pointe is on the East Side.
Yeah. Well, namely where Eminem lives now, Clinton Township.
Yeah, they got the
There's that
community.
pocket with the gated community, and every house
But Eminem is an East Side guy. Eminem would not... Do you see Eminem in Birmingham or...
Only until he gets arrested. Just long enough to be arrested.
Jessica, do you agree East Side girls are easier?
I would probably say that, yeah.
Yeah. How many one-nighters have you participated in your career?
Not many. I can't
Really?
speak for myself, but I would say for the majority, they're pretty slutty.
Your girlfriends all have pretty big team photos?
I look back at my high school, and they're all wearing stuff that I would never even think of.
Oh, man. That's pretty heavy. Hey, Colin, go ahead.
Hey, how you doing, Drew and Mike?
Good. What's happening?
Listen, great conversation, by the way.
This is a huge one, man.
Yeah, Drew, it's funny that you mentioned this. I remember when you were talking about you drive out to Belleville, or you go by Belleville when you're on the way to Ann Arbor, and you said, God, I'm glad I don't live out here.
Belleville,
And it's funny, that's where I live, and when I go to Ann Arbor, all I can think is, man, there's nothing to do out here. I wish I lived on the east side. And I lived out here my whole life, and it seems like the east side's definitely got more coming on.
In
Well, there's a
Belleville,
lot.
is where you live?
There's a lot going on the East Side.
Oh,
but Belleville, I just couldn't live far. I just have to be central. I can't live too far from, either too far either way, and I'd go nuts. I got too many places to go.
When you mentioned Royal Oak, from my house to Royal Oak, Ann Arbor to Royal Oak is a hike.
Oh, from your place to anywhere is a hike.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to go to Royal Oak, I don't know what you're doing there.
Oh, no, absolutely. Yeah, once you're that far out, it's like, poof, that's it.
Hey, Justin, go ahead.
Yeah, hey, Drew Mike, great show.
Thanks.
Hey,
What's up?
Justin.
Hey, just calling in about the downriver comment earlier.
Oh, okay.
And just wanted to say maybe everybody should think about the fact of Grozio being downriver.
Yeah, Grozio's
I mean, you can't really lump. You can have all income groups in all these areas. In certain compositions, but I gotta believe there's some place downriver where cops could have a pretty good night.
Oh yeah, well I lived in Dearborn for a while, and then I had an apartment in Allen Park.
Okay.
Yeah, for years. Yeah, and then we lived on North Line. I'm totally familiar with that area, Woodhaven, all that. Yeah, it's interesting because you don't hear too much about downriver very much, do you? Really?
Let's talk to
Jan.
Jan.
It's jam packed.
Yeah.
Hey, Jan, go ahead.
Hey, yeah, I'm an East Sider for life, and the West Siders, they don't know how to party like the East Siders do. You can't have a good time unless you're on the East Side.
I would say East Siders definitely out party the West Side. Now, how easily do you give it up?
Well, not now, but previously, in my previous life.
Hey, you gotta appreciate an East Side chick calling in saying, "Yeah, I used to give it up pretty easy. Yeah, I'm an East Sider. What do you think? I want to party and have fun."
In your
That's right, that's right. You know, you get more mature.
Somebody wants to know how tall your hair is. Now, that could be a cheap shot coming from
My hair's not tall anymore.
Okay, would you say big hair was an East Side staple, though?
Big hair was huge.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, yeah.
All right. See, the East Siders, they're more comfortable in their own skin, for Christ's sake. You gotta love that. Let's talk to Ken. Hey, Ken, go ahead. You're on the riff.
Hey, guys. This is Ken from the East Side, and I just got 2 words why East Side is better.
Let her go.
Wild Woodies. The most alcohol consumed in the mission.
You know, that would
Wild Woodies, you know, when they had the list of the most liquor drinks consumed at any place in all of Michigan, Wild Woodies made the list. Now, that doesn't seem that impressive. I think it was 25th, but Wild Woodies is not that big a bar.
Oh, exactly. It's quite small, actually.
It was competing with, 5th Street and Novi and 5th Street and Royal Oak. I don't think there's even a comparison in terms of square footage.
Well, that's right. Exactly.
Hey, Dan, go ahead.
Hey, I used to party over on the east side when I was younger, over at Harpo's. And that was a big party spot.
Oh, yeah.
And I live on the west side now, and it's just not nearly as fun. There's a lot of yuppies over there. They don't appreciate the rock and rollers and stuff. It's a lot different.
Yeah, it's a different climate, for sure. There's no question.
If you wanted to get hosed, where would you go?
I'm sorry?
If you wanted to get hosed, where would you go?
I would probably, I don't know now, but I'd probably go back down to Harpo's, right?
All right. We got to move on to news and traffic at 16 after 9 o'clock, 101 WRIF. We got some more great email. Oh, we got a lot of East Side, West Side email, too. We'll have to get into some of that. People are starting to get pissed. Traffic brought to you by Adam, the American Divorce Association for Men. For more info, call 248-356-ADAM. That's 248-356-ADAM for the American Divorce Association for Men. And, Mr. Stresh, what's happening, bud? What's going on?
Well, let's see. What the hell is going on now? Lodge, southbound at the Davison, disabled vehicle there. Center lane is blocked completely. Huge pain in the ass. And really, besides that, I don't know why. No, that's it. That's it. I had it out a bunch of junk. The rest is construction, nothing new there. That is the nightmarish kind of hell of traffic.
And Trudy brought to you by Dr. Roche. If you want to achieve smoother, fresher, younger-looking skin, get help from Dr. Roche. Learn more about his pain-free lasers.
And this part of the show brought to you by Dr. Albert Pierce. Ladies, don't let your boyfriend or husband be caught empty-handed. Dr. Pierce is a board-certified plastic surgeon specializing in breast enhancement and has been giving Riff listeners more shape for over 4 years. Check him out on the web at piercemd.com. It's www.piercemd.com.
We need to do? We need to get this bowling guy on.
Yeah, okay.
While we have the chance here. This old guy, who's up early, of course, because he's 92 years old.
Of course. Oh, hell yeah, he's been up since probably 4.
He's been bowling since he was 14. He's been bowling for 78 years. And he, according to USA Today, has just broken the record for the most pins knocked down in a lifetime. Now, I don't know. Are you keeping track of your total pins knocked down? Because
no,
I don't know if I'm anywhere near this guy's record, because the amount of pins are some like 120 some odd thousand pins, and I'm thinking, boy, it seems like I've knocked down that many pins. I mean, I'm not keeping track, so it's hard to say.
Yeah, because...
But this guy, apparently, every time he goes bowling, he takes a score sheet home and adds it up.
Yeah, because nobody that you know, right? You've bowled for many years. You don't know anybody that keeps track of the amount of pins.
Not really. I mean, I don't know, unless he's in leagues or tournaments. I mean, I've never heard of the guy. Maybe he used to be a big-time pro bowler. But he just broke the record at age 92. So I'm a little confused about who's keeping all these records.
I know it, because who is keeping the records? Is
I
this
don't
a
know.
Guinness thing? Is this some bowling association? Is this him?
This is him. Well, let's find
Who
out.
knows? It's crazy.
Do a little camper Van Beethoven. Take the skinheads bowling. I don't know, maybe he takes the skinheads bowling occasionally. It sounds like fun in the song.
Every day I get up and pray to John, and he increases the number of clocks by exactly 1. Everybody's coming home for lunch these days.
Joe Norris is his name.
Last night there were skinheads on my lawn. Take the skinheads bowling, take them bowling.
Doesn't that sound like fun?
Yeah, I'm up for it.
Take the skinheads bowling, take them bowling.
Let's do it today.
How much trouble can it cause at a bowling alley?
Some people
Not
say
much.
that bowling alleys got big lanes.
Like 3 lanes together.
Got big lanes. Some people say that bowling alleys all look the same.
Of course, they might set up a Confederate flag around the area set or something and bum some people out. But
That's why they'll give us the lanes way down at the end.
Had a dream last night, but I forget what it was. What it was. What it was. Take the skinheads bowling. Take them bowling. Take the skinheads bowling. Take them bowling.
Good morning.
hey, is Joe there?
Speaking.
Joe, it's Drew and Mike calling on WRIF Radio. We just want to congratulate you on the bowling record.
Isn't that wonderful?
It's just great. Now, 122,000 pins?
Yep.
Jeez. Now, who held the old record?
Bill Dorman, actually, Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Uh-huh.
He was 93 when he set the record of 71 years.
And you've kept track of all the pins you've knocked down your whole life from the time you were, 14, 15 years old?
Yes. But also the ABC kept track, too.
They did.
The American Bowling Congress kept track of the pins.
I'm 40 and I've bowled a lot, and I don't even know how many pins I have. But, I mean, if I devoted myself to it, maybe I could come close to the record. I just haven't. How do I find out how many pins I've knocked down?
Well, it's at the American Bowling Congress. How many tournaments did you bowl in?
Well, I don't bowl in that many tournaments, but I've been in a league the last few years, and when I was a kid.
No, these pins are knocked down in an ABC tournament.
Oh, okay, so it doesn't count if I just go over to the bowling lane and throw 6 or 7 games.
No.
Oh,
so
okay.
Otherwise, my God, I'd be a couple million.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, it didn't seem like that many pins. I was a little surprised, but that's in just tournament play, so that's why it's the record.
That's
No offense.
an American Bowling Congress tournament.
So there's no estimating whatsoever? I mean, even on the first few years you bowled, you just maybe ballparked it, or they kept exact track?
Well, they kept exact track.
They did.
And I did, too. I have a record of every game I bowled in ABC.
Is that a fact?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because you knew that at some point in your life that you wanted to have some type of record for the amount of pins? I mean, what was your motivation to go through all that crap?
No, that was not in my mind. I never had that in mind. I just loved the bowl in the tournament. It's fun going to a different city and bowling in an ABC tournament.
Yeah.
Joe, what's your theory on drinking and bowling? Because I attend in bowling leagues. Sometimes I find if I do a shot or I have a beer, sometimes it loosens me up and I bowl a little bit better.
Well, the sad part about bowling has been named a barroom sport. from day one. Because when I started bowling, there was a lot of drinking going on in the bowling establishment.
There was.
You got the ladies, and then they kind of cleaned the place up. But you'd be surprised how much of the media today still think that bowling is a barroom sport.
Well, I bowl better. Sometimes if I'm in a slump, I'll have a beer, and I might bowl a little bit better. It seems like it's a kind of sport where alcohol can occasionally benefit you, or at least I've led myself to believe that. And sometimes, for example, when my team's in a slump, Joe, we might all do a shot to see if it'll turn things around.
Well, the old days of beer frames, when everybody struck the...
Oh, yeah, beer frames, sure.
That's huge.
In other words, the 4 guys strike, I'm talking days when they had 5 men on a team.
Sure.
Right.
When 4 guys strike, the other guy to strike, you had to buy a beer.
Well, I just wondered if you ever found a little alcohol to help your game from time to time.
No, I never drank on the in fact, when 1934, when they brought the beer back, I went to the Stroh's Brewery in Detroit and got them to sponsor my team.
Is that right?
But we never drank on the alleys.
Did you ever pick up the old 710, Joe?
I've made every split on the alley but the 710.
Yeah, that one's a bitch. Do you know anybody that's ever made it? I don't think anyone's ever made that.
You know how many patches they give out every year?
How many?
Over 2,000.
2,000 people make that, but they must have somebody goes back there and slides the pin into the gutter or something.
No.
Those are all the...
You have to throw the ball real hard and bounce the pin off.
Yeah, those are the people that drink. Those are the people... Yeah, because those are the people that make that, are the people that drink, and that's why you've never hit it, Joe, because you drink afterward.
Well, I tried. I drank. I threw real hard. In the old days when they had the bullhide cushions, they used to swing. And a lot of times you could bounce the pins back, but I never made it.
Yeah, but see, if you go in there drunk, you tend to throw the ball as hard as you can, and you throw it so hard it'll come right out of the gutter.
But I'll tell you one thing. In the old days, going back many years, at the American Bowling Congress, when some bowler had a chance to take the lead, they would always slip them a drink.
Yeah, man.
Which was against the rules, but they would have in a Coke bottle or something like that.
Right.
A drink.
To hide it.
Well,
yeah.
I'm a little surprised to hear that you've never done team shots, though, just to fire up the squad from time to time, Joe.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it worked for us. Sometimes it turned things around. I mean, just one shot, not 6 or 7, but just one shot, just kind of shake everybody up.
Yeah, nothing like a couple of beers, grab the waitress's butt a little pinch, you know what I mean, Joe? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, but see, one thing, we wanted to knock pins down, the Stroh's team. I mean, we
still good as a sponsor.
Yep.
But after we got through bowling, we went into the lounge and had a few drinks, and that's when the match games would start with the challenge matches. After the guys had a few drinks, and we'd
get a little hammered.
Yeah. Yeah.
Joe, did you ever find, now is this the bowling alley a good place to meet women or not? I mean, for young people who are thinking they might want to pick up bowling,
yes, it is a good place.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. In fact, you know, I have 2 senior leagues. And that's a good place, even for a senior, when they lose a loved one, to pick up another person.
Now, Joe, you know, we sort of know what younger women are like. What are senior chicks like? Are they more mellow? Are they tempestuous? Are they wild?
Well, I think they're more mellow.
More mellow.
Oh man, yeah, mellow.
You mean they're not as wild as maybe the younger ones?
Well, of course, at my age, I'm 92. I don't look at women anymore.
Yeah, you don't look at women anymore.
Well, they got that.
It'll take 50 years of it was a different story.
I always envision a woman out there, though, that maybe she's 89, but people still know her as One Drink Betty. You know what I mean?
I think the women, regardless of age, I think they're still sexy.
Yeah, half a beer and the ace bandages come right off.
By the way, where are you calling from?
We're in Detroit.
Huh?
We're in Detroit, Michigan.
Oh, Detroit, Michigan?
Yes, sir.
Oh, boy. Been many days in the bowling alley in Michigan. I started to set pins at the Fairview Recreation on Jefferson and St. Jean.
Oh, okay.
They had 8 lanes there.
I don't think they have people setting the pins anymore. I think the machine does that now.
Oh yeah.
Joe, in the pin setting days now, if you maybe tip the pin setter guy, would he maybe cram the pins a little closer together and make it easier on you?
Well, you know, when we bowl the match games, when we bowl match games like for the world's match game title, I had a man back there to watch the pin boys. They were very clever with their left foot. You know, they kick that 10 pin down. They see the ball coming into the 1-3 pocket.
Oh.
It would just tip the 10 pin. You never hit the 10 pin.
I'll be damned.
So I had a man back there as a referee to watch, and the boys had to wear gloves too, because a lot of times they were eating sandwiches back there, like hot dogs and hamburgers, and then they pick up your ball with their thumb, you know.
Getting mustard all over it. Jeez.
So you gotta watch that too.
What about these now? We're talking bowling with the all-time leader in pins knocked down, Joe Norris, 92 years old. He's been bowling for 78 years and still going. What about these newfangled machines that keep track of the score? Does that drive you nuts, Joe, when the thing makes a mistake or something, or somebody bowls out of turn, and, it used to be you could just erase it and move on, but now it takes an act of God to get the thing set up.
Last Saturday, I bowled in the city tournament, and when the machine, every time you got a strike, it showed 9. So we had to keep changing all the time.
Oh,
so that was
man.
kind of a nuisance.
Yeah, I bet it was.
Jeez, what a drag.
Do you ever, Joe, do you find as you get older, do you find yourself bowling out of order more often, or just like spacing out, and next thing you know, people are going, "Where's Joe? Joe?"
Oh, no. I always sat down on the bench. Surprising, the settees bowlers stand up now. They don't sit down like the old days. Everybody sat down on the settees.
Oh, hell yeah.
But they don't do it now. They wander all over the place. No, I sit down on the settees.
But yeah, you're bowling leagues where people are just up and down, and they're playing games, and they're in the bar, or they're chasing women or whatnot, and they're never there when they're supposed to be up.
Well, those are the guys that don't average very much.
Yeah.
Bowling is a game of concentration. You have to remember every shot.
It's always the same boneheads holding it up, too. There was this one week, Mike, I was bowling, and this girl on the other team, she was playing one of those little games where you reach down with the clamps to get a stuffed toy. Do you know those?
Oh, I know exactly that game.
And she was playing it for hours on end, and she couldn't get a toy. And every time she was up, "Oh, where's so-and-so?" Yeah, what do you know? She's trying to get another stuffed toy.
With that steam shovel kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yep, I know exactly.
You take those automatic machines, they are set up for 1 hour and 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But these bowlers, they wander all over. That's why it takes 2.5 hours to bowl.
I know. It's just not like the good old days, Joe.
Yeah.
What do you...
We had pin boys, and if you weren't there, the pin boy would start knocking on the side of the kickback with a pin.
Yeah.
Yeah, get your ass up there.
Telling you to get with it.
Joe, what do you make of the tournaments now I've seen on TV? The crowd goes crazy. They cheer and they whoop and holler as the guy's getting ready to bowl. It's not quiet like the old days.
Well, I think it was CBS. They wanted something a little different, and they say, well, they raise heck in the football and baseball and basketball. Why don't they do it in bowling?
Well, what do you think of that, Joe?
But listen, in my time, when I was bowling with Strohs, the fans were very vocal. They would yell and scream.
Is that right?
Oh yeah, and if you threw the ball and you got an 8-10, they would yell, "Hey Norris, what a water ball! You dummy, why don't you learn how to bowl?"
See, that's because they're drinking all that Strohs.
Listen, in Australia, I was over in Australia. When they have a tournament there, they have horns, they have bells,
jeez.
They yell, they scream.
Man, that drive you crazy.
Yeah, just as you're about to release the ball, some air horn goes off.
God. Concentrate on what you're doing.
Go over there and wrap that trombone right around that prick's head, you know?
That's for sure. But in the old days, they were pretty vocal. They would yell and scream. And
little trash talk,
yeah. Years they were very quiet. Now CBS wanted some action, and that's why they had the fans yell and scream.
Well, how about this moonlight bowling? A lot of people go into the stuff where you got
come on, don't talk about moonlight bowling with an old pro like Joe. He doesn't go for that garbage.
You don't want that smoke drifting.
The whole trouble is the bowling industry, the manufacturers, and the proprietors. They're leaning more to the bowlers having a fun game.
Yeah,
They're not building any leagues like cosmic bowling and all that stuff.
Cosmic bowling.
They don't do that in league play. Joe would never bowl with a bunch of strobe lights going off.
You don't throw some bright green ball down a blue alley.
Yeah, but see, that's only for fun bowling, but they're not building any leagues.
It's not serious stuff.
Bowling You have to have leagues.
Yeah, the future of the sport depends on leagues, Mike.
Yeah,
Come on.
yeah, okay.
The future of this game is not in strobe lights and
right.
wild midnight displays and black lights. It's in leagues.
That's right. That's right.
Joe, have you seen the movie Kingpin?
No, I saw some of the previews, and I didn't go there because I didn't think it was good for the game.
Oh, you don't like to see bowling made light of?
That's absolutely.
Oh, come on, Joe. It's pretty funny. Bill Murray's really funny in this movie.
Yeah, but what did the movie do for bowling?
Well, I don't know.
It looked like a great thing to do drunk.
You could lighten up a little bit, Joe. Joe, you need to lighten up. Bowling's a serious sport, but some of us like to go to that midnight bowling stuff.
Well, it's a fun sport, but it doesn't do much for the game.
What's the name of that ball washer somebody poo-pooed in?
Kingpin? The what do they call the thing that washes the ball?
Yeah,
Joe, the machine that you put your ball in and it spins it around and.
A ball, I think a ball cleaner or something like that.
Yeah, it's not like Brunswick. I forgot who makes it. Someone actually defecated in one of those machines before a major tournament here. Can you imagine such a thing happening?
Oh yeah.
Swear to God, somebody had put their ball in there and it came out all full of poo.
Oh, dude, it was sick.
Can you imagine that?
Isn't that something?
And the guy paid like $250 to make it wash for the full 5 minutes. You know, it gives you the option 1 minute, 2 minutes, and he paid the full amount. And the thing got washed with a big chunk of feces in there, and the whole tournament was horrified, I guess.
Oh, I tell you, sometimes some of these people do some really lot of damage to a bowling alley.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's not good. That's not good for the future of the game either. To have people hanging out doing crazy things like that.
Yeah, and there's something King maybe. Luster King.
Luster. It was Luster.
They mark up the mirror and stuff like that.
Yeah. Hey Joe, the name of this machine is called a Luster King.
Yeah, Luster King, you're right.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. I clean my own bowling balls, so I never use them.
You don't take the chance, huh? Never know when there's going to be a turd in there, for God's sake.
Joe, listen, we did want to congratulate you on your record. It sure is great to talk about bowling, past, present, and future. And I hope you'll be knocking down a lot more pins before you're done.
Well, I hope. I told my doctor he's going to keep me alive one more year so I can break the record of 71. Well, I'm tied with Bill Dorman at 71 now.
Oh, is that right?
And next year in Reno, it'll be 72.
And what weight ball are you using now?
Well, you know, I've had a little medical problem, and I was throwing a 14-pound ball, and I cut down to 13 pounds.
Wow, hey, 13's nothing to be ashamed of, but Joe, promise me you'll never throw one of those 8-pound things with a red flag and a blue flag and a white flag.
I love those balls. Those balls are great when you're drunk.
Ebonite came out with a ball that's got an eye.
It's got an eye?
Yeah, a big eye.
Oh, how wow.
Really?
That sounds like Bill Murray's ball in Kingpin.
Oh, man. Yeah, if you get a little...
That ball should be able to see where it's going.
Those multicolored 8-pound balls, they just glance off the pins. They don't even go through them.
But, man, if you're drunk, you can throw them like a baseball.
You see some of those young people come in and take one of those balls and throw that ball down the lane a mile.
I know.
I hate to see that, Joey. You're out there, you're having a decent game, and then you get somebody who doesn't even know that the guy in the right bowls first, and they're running up there and throwing them between their legs. That kind of disrespect has no place in a bowling alley.
Ball doesn't touch down to just before the pins.
That's one thing that we're lacking. We need an instructor in every bowling establishment that should walk up and tell these people how to bowl.
Yeah, somebody lofts the ball. You go over there and slap him in the side of the head and teach him how to throw it right. But
you got to take that light bowling ball and throw it halfway down the lane.
Oh yeah, exactly.
And that's not good for the bowling lane.
I'm with you, Joe. Hey, it's so nice to talk to you again. And if we have some bowling questions, we'll certainly call you back.
Very good.
Okay, Joe.
Anytime. Keep up
the good work.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Oh, man, he's all fired up. All fired up.
He doesn't like that midnight bowling with the strobes and crap and disco. And
No way.
They're not making any leagues out of that.
Yeah, that's not the future. Not that crap. Going out there drunk, throwing that ball around and everything else. Jeez, no way.
Luster King.
Yeah, the Luster King.
He got a real laugh out of that, though.
I know he did.
He wouldn't have laughed except he cleans his own ball.
Yeah, I know. He probably cleans his own ball. He probably cleans his own ball because he's the one that crapped in a thing to begin with.
Well, a seasoned pro would never depend on some crazy-ass
machine.
Some crazy-ass gimmicky machine they got at the bowling alley. He knows what to put on his ball.
The Luster King. He did. He laughed at that. He laughed at that.
Yeah, it's for some clown who's bowling for the $5,000 pot with 150 other guys on some Saturday in Ohio. It's not for a true pro like Joe Norris.
Man. Boy, he still must be getting some money from Stroh's, huh? Man, he's into
sounds
Stroh's.
like it. My God.
Whew, man.
I won't even watch Kingpins.
Oh, my
Bad
God.
for the game.
Drew and Mike.
They wanted to go down on me.
On 101 WRIF. Riff Rocks. F Detroit.
Celine Dion, 32 today.
32 today. December's dame.
I like Celine. There are a few songs I can't stand. That You're My Lady and I'm Your Man, The Power of Love. I'm sorry, I can't stand it.
There we go.
I don't remember that one.
All right, heads up. Very inside number for Celine Dion, 32 years old today.
Are you ready, guys?
Yes.
Yeah. And you can join in with us at home, anybody who's listening who may have a birthday. This is specially from you. From you. To you, from Mr. Methane.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Celine Dion. Yes, this is Drew and Mike on the WRIF radio demanding immediate transfer to Celine Dion. Celine Dion.
Celine.
Sorry?
Celine Dion, please.
I'm sorry, she's not here.
Celine?
She's not here.
Celine Dion?
Is not there. She should be. She was expecting our call.
She was what?
She is having a birthday and it is a surprise.
We wanted to catch her off guard.
I'm sorry, sir.
Celine?
I cannot understand you.
Celine Dion?
It is her birthday.
Okay.
Would you please put her on the phone?
I'm sorry, she's not here.
I must talk to Celine Dion.
Where is she?
She's in the States.
Will you please connect us to Celine Dion?
May I ask who's calling?
She is not allowing others to know that we are calling her.
She's not what?
She is not allowing others to know that we are calling her. So
Yeah.
we will not be able to say, but she will know who it is.
Okay, well, I need to know
If
who
she
it
is Celine Dion.
You
Sorry?
can tell her those who are not allowed to say their name are on the phone. If you transfer, please.
One moment, please.
Merci. Celine Dion. Celine.
Happy birthday, Celine. It is.
Celine Dion.
One moment, I'll transfer you to...
Thank you.
The line is...
Celine Dion.
How are you, Celine? How is everything?
Celine Dion. Hello.
Your line is busy. Would you like to hold?
I will hold, but I am expecting the next voice I will hear will be Celine Dion.
Sure, we will.
No, I'm going to transfer you to her assistant.
Just simply bypass the assistant and transfer us to Celine Dion.
Go direct.
The line is busy. Would you like to hold?
We will hold as long as it's for Celine Dion.
Hold on.
I'm assuming the next voice will hear will be Celine Dion.
Of course. It is not somebody will pay.
It will be the dulcet tones of Celine Dion.
Of course it would be Celine. They wouldn't have the nerve to not give us Celine. I'm experiencing deja vu here.
I will not be insulted by Celine Dion any further. I will simply withdraw my happy birthday wishes.
And the beautiful gift we have.
We were going to provide her with the special birthday wishes of Mr. Methane. We will be unable to do that. Not after being treated in this way.
Can't believe I'm on hold. I can't believe there's no music even when I'm on hold. Should be some type of
the music of Celine Dion.
Of course.
Mr. Celine Dion.
Celine, how
Happy
are you?
birthday. Hello?
You still wish to hold?
Celine?
The line is busy. You still wish to hold?
I was told the next voice I would hear will be Celine Dion.
I don't
I didn't say
understand the delay.
The line is still busy. You want to hold?
The next voice will be Celine Dion?
No, it will be the assistant.
No, the
next voice will be Celine Dion, or I will have to...
The next voice will be the assistant.
No,
it will be Celine Dion, or I will have to withdraw my happy birthday wishes.
You have to talk to the assistant.
We don't speak with assistants.
Well, then I cannot do nothing for you, sir.
Well, then I will withdraw our happy birthday wishes, and the gift will be returned immediately.
Not to mention what we will tell Celine has occurred.
I have to transfer the call to the assistant. She will forward the call there.
You need only tell the assistant that those that cannot give the name are on the phone, and then immediately Celine would pick up the phone.
Okay, sir, they're not here in town.
Yes, that's why you are going to transfer us to the States.
To the assistant before. One moment, please.
She did say the assistant would send us on to Celine Dion. That, I believe, is what they call a fabrication. I do not want to find that this is a fabrication.
A cobweb of lies.
I will not deal with treacherous, deceitful assistants who make promises they cannot deliver regarding Celine Dion. Regarding Celine Dion. We were fully prepared to sing Happy Birthday in echo to Celine Dion. We will have to withdraw that.
When we get to the assistant, have full echo on and blame the phone connection.
Celine Dion?
Did I hear click?
I don't know, I'm hallucinating from waiting so long.
I've never waited this long, ever.
Hello?
No way.
Someone was on the phone. Momentarily.
Maybe to spy? The next thing we hear better not be a dial tone.
Celine? Celine Dion?
Is that you?
If this continues, I will spank Celine Dion 32 times. 32 times on each cheek of her buttocks.
Leaving her butt globes red.
And then I will rule the world!
Her husband will come into the room only to find a red butt globes and wonder who spanked the butt that I own.
The bottom of Celine Dion.
Who has leased my wife's ass?
I can no longer wait.
I refuse.
Dion. I think we were dismissed, perhaps. There was a moment in time where she was implying we may have to try Miss Dion back later on and claim we were disconnected.
Yes, the question.
Which we may have been.
Yes.
We believe we were disconnected.
This is why we called one day ahead of time, because we knew it would be this stupidity.
Incompetent Celine Dion assistants. We have officially withdrawn our happy birthday wishes for Celine Dion.
Back Bernard.
Drew and Mike.
Hey, man, y'all show us a bag of chips, man, and all that.
101 WRIF. The Riff.